I've been in the gym for a while now, and there are a few things I look back upon and massively regret doing. I believe that if I avoided doing these 5 things at the gym, I would make my progress much faster. So if you're a beginner, this video can be a total game changer for you. So let's get started. Doing squats, bench, and deadlifts. These 3 lifts, which are often glorified as the big 3, are just not essential for building muscle. I'm sure many of y'all are gonna be doing these just because everyone else does. You need to ask yourself what you are actually training for, because unless you're a powerlifter, they're probably holding you back. If you're training to build muscle, there are far better exercise choices. You see, the problem with the big 3 movements is that the stimulus to fatigue ratio is a joke. As in, the stimulus you get for the muscle is way lesser than the fatigue you get, which is absolutely useless if your goal is bodybuilding, which I'm assuming is. And let's be real, most people doing barbell squats are ego lifting half reps with garbage form, feeling it more in their lower back and hips than their quads. And if you're a tall bloke with long femurs, just forget about it, bro. Knee pain, lower back tightness, mobility struggles. For what? When a hack squat and leg press or a Smith machine squat can load your quads harder with constant tension and zero balance issues, I just don't see why anyone would even touch the barbell. Yeah, sure, if you feel every rep of squats in your quads and get an amazing pump with them, good for you, bro. But I'm sure if you just ask yourself why you actually stop in your set of squats, truthfully 90% of y'all will answer because your lower back starts rounding or you start losing balance. Again, in flat barbell bench press, the stability required to push the weight is a major limiting factor. Instead, you can get 10 times more stimulus and 10 times less fatigue in inclined dumbbell presses or machine presses. And deadlifts? I mean, what do deadlifts even train? A bit of hamstrings, a ton of your lower back, your grip strength, your traps, your glutes, core, so many muscles. But is it efficient at training these muscles? Not at all. Instead, just do a proper hip hinge movement like the RDLs for a much better overall stimulus for your posterior chain, that is your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. So stop doing them just because everyone else does them. There are far better choices. The next mistake I did was chasing bigger numbers. I remember I was one of the progressive overload is everything crowd, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Progressively lifting heavier with trash form doesn't mean you're getting bigger. It just means you're getting better at cheating. It just means you're getting better at lifting the weight, which doesn't really mean anything. You need to know that if you're increasing the weight in every single session, then you're for sure compromising on your form. Muscle building is a slow process and it takes time. It doesn't happen in a week. So you need to take a step back and truly ask yourself what your form looks like. Because if your form really sucks, you didn't get stronger. You just got better at moving the weight from A to B. The target muscle barely did more work. What if instead of increasing the weight, you controlled the eccentric 2 times slower, paused at the stretch, eliminated momentum, and locked in your alignment? That's progressive overload. It's just not as sexy to post. And this kind of progression stimulates far more muscle growth. So moral is, more weight is not equal to more gains if your form becomes trash. The next mistake I made was doing exercises that don't stretch the muscle. This is where most people go wrong without even realizing it, including myself. I was doing all the popular exercises but still not growing because none of them put the target muscle into a deep loaded stretch. Stretch is equal to stimulus. Recent research and my personal real world results both confirm that a loaded stretch is one of the biggest drivers of hypertrophy. You don't grow from just contracting the muscle or getting a pump, bro. You grow when you challenge the muscle in its fully lengthened position, where it's the weakest and where the tension is painful. The problem is that most exercises skip this completely. Let's call out a few favorites. Standing dumbbell curls, most of the tension is at the top. At the bottom, your arms are just hanging. Tricep pushdowns, great for a pump but zero stretch in the long head. Yes, you do get a good stimulus for your short and medial heads, but the long head is fully contracted because it crosses the shoulder joint. So placing your hands overhead will stretch it the most. Dumbbell lateral raises, same deal. No stretch at the bottom where your shoulder is lengthened. So switch to exercises that stretch your muscle, like incline bicep curls or even decline bicep curls as I do them. For triceps, do overhead tricep extensions, and for shoulders, do exercises that put tension sideways instead of downward on your arm in the lower stretched part. That is gonna give you much more gains. Again, these are not bad exercises, but if they're your main movement for a muscle group, you're leaving way too many gains on the table. And if I avoided making this mistake, I can certainly say that I would be considerably more jacked right now. Another mistake I made in the past was focusing on mind-muscle connection. This, to be honest, was my favorite buzzword back then. You just have to feel the muscle. But here's the truth. If you need to feel the muscle to know it's working, you've already failed at setting up the exercise. The only reason you're hyper-focused on feeling the muscle is because your exercise setup is inefficient. If the biomechanics of the movement are locked in, like right angles, correct alignment, no compensating muscles, you will hit the target muscle no matter what. Ask yourself one thing. Do you ever feel the need for mind-muscle connection in leg extensions? No, right? That's because the locked position and the tension force the muscle to work. I mean, it's not that mind-muscle connection is useless, but it's just secondary. It's a bonus. It's just the icing. It's not the cake. If your cable flies have no tension at the bottom and your chest isn't getting stretched, feeling the pecs won't fix it. You need to increase your range of motion. If your form on lateral raises sucks and your traps are taking over, thinking about your delts won't override the bad mechanics of the movement, and mind-muscle connection can even hold you back. Some people go too far trying to feel every rep, slowing things down unnecessarily and even reducing the load so much that the set just becomes inefficient, not even lifting a load that's challenging. They sacrifice tension, stretch, and effort just to get a nice little burn. That's not hypertrophy, dude. What you actually need is a well set up exercise for your personal comfort and anatomy, proper alignment of tension with the muscle, full range of motion with stretch, and to take the set to or near failure. Do that and the target muscle will get hit no matter what. And finally, the stupidest mistake I made was doing redundant exercises. My push day about 4 years ago was something like flat bench press, then flat dumbbell press, then chest fly machine, and then cable fly, then lateral raises, front raises, and tricep pushdowns. That's like 4 exercises targeting the same part of the chest. I'm just embarrassed to even think I did this routine once upon a time. You see, bro, your body doesn't reward effort. It rewards stimulus. And doing 10 variations of the same movement pattern gives you more fatigue, not gains. So how would you know if the exercises you're doing are redundant? Ask yourself these 3 questions. Is this exercise training the muscle in a different length or position? Are you getting a pump in a different part of the muscle? Am I hitting a different angle or range of motion? If not, then just cut that exercise. Here's what my current push day looks like. Incline dumbbell press, machine chest fly, cable lateral raises, decline bicep curls, and sometimes I add a set of dips at the end. Each exercise has a purpose. Different angles, different range of motion, different resistance profiles. No overlap, no fluff. This keeps the quality of all the previous sets as well as adds more later on, unlike the earlier split which just breaks down the muscle more and ruins the quality of the entire workout. So these were the 5 mistakes I made as a beginner that kept me from making progress faster. Do leave a like if you found this video valuable and share it with a friend who you think may benefit from it. Hope you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more.